by Kathy B because that's my middle name, and also there's two other Kathy Shapiros, and so it's a way to differentiate myself. Anyways, this is my fine art photography. These are all photographs, and these two right here were done with ICM, intentional camera movement, and slow shutter. And then these two here are some of my frame series, and it happens to be that my kids gave me one of those moving frames, and I have a digital frames that move, and these are images taken with glass in front of the moving picture frames. So anyways, I like to do abstract, modern, abstract art, and I hope you just enjoy the work. Thank you.
So thank you. You disappeared already, Rabbi Marsha. There you are. Thank you. And thank you to Lisa Beth and Anita for inviting me to be part of this inaugural event. Very excited to share this with everybody. A little bit about my backstory quickly. I grew up on the East Coast, and I always felt a pull towards California. You'll see that in this piece right here, The Dream Realized. And I was a little kid, and I came out here with my grandmother and my sisters, and I immediately said, someday I'm going to live here. I came out here for college, and it confirmed that idea that California was where I needed to be. But a lot of times life gets in the way, and we don't always take the path that we think, and the route can be circuitous sometimes. So I spent 45 years in Florida raising a wonderful son, and I built a career, and 6 years ago I found my way back. My pottery and clay journey began about 16 years ago, and again, just by a weird set of circumstances, I bid on and won a 6-week class in pottery in a live auction. And I thought, okay, I could try this. The first time I put my hands into wet clay, I fell in love. And I knew that that was something I wanted to pursue. When I started, I did some basic hand building and some wheel throwing until I moved to California 6 years ago and met an amazing ceramic artist and teacher. And she took my journey in pottery way beyond anything I would have ever expected, and introduced me to new techniques that I had never seen, and just stretched me beyond what I would have ever imagined. So what I have in this exhibition, you'll see 3 different pieces, and they reflect different forms and approaches that are very different than traditional wheel throwing and hand building. And again, they're just things that I've expanded into. Each one are very personal to me, and they mark a very specific moment in my life or something that reflects my history. So I'm really happy to share these pieces with you, and I'm also really proud and honored to be included in this event. So I thank you. Thank you.
Greenberg, and I also want to, from the bottom of my heart, thank Rabbi Tilchin and Lisa Beth and all of the artists, because this experience was so fulfilling and satisfying and rewarding for me. So it was just a wonderful opportunity. In the days of yore, in the 80s, I got a Bachelor of Fine Arts from the School of Visual Arts in Manhattan. And for 20 years, I was a graphic designer. And I loved it, but I got to the point that I wanted to change careers, so I got an advanced degree and went into a very corporate life and designed training programs, corporate training programs for another 20 years. But I really missed having my hands in the art. So about 10 years ago, I began to paint, and I started with paintbrush and acrylic, doing abstracts. But then I discovered pastel, and I fell in love with that. And the reason is, there's virtually nothing between me and the work. I don't have a long paintbrush, I don't have a long pencil, I just have small chalks and I'm immersed in it. So for me, it's just more expressive and I can get more into a state of flow. I have several bodies of work. This is from my Skyscape body of work. And a couple of my across the street neighbors were here before. I don't see them now, but they know that this is my view in Dana Point from my balcony. And I get out of bed and bring my coffee out there every morning. And I'm really disappointed when the sun's not out. Because for me, that's my food and air, the sun. This one is of Santa Fe. This was a photograph, I think, near Heisler Park in La Jolla. And I don't actually recall. This is from San Diego, somewhere in San Diego. But anyway, I just love the sun, so that's how this body works.
Do you want to say a bit about
Oh,
it?
sure. So I also make these tatted bracelets with check glass and beads. Oh, do you still have your finger attached to your hand? My paintings and these are for sale. I found in a very, very old magazine, probably from the 70s, some pictures of something like this. And I started to read about tatting. And then just spoke to people and kind of found some instructions and doctored with them and changed them. And these wound up being like a combo of all these different things that I had seen. And I got a very good reaction, so I was unemployed for 5 months many years ago, and this is how I spent my time. I don't have the eyes to do this anymore. I wish I did. You know, it's a lot of very close work, but
Yay, Anita.
And these 4 works, the 5 works actually are hers, and she also has a tremendous amount of beautiful jewelry. So here we go.
Hi guys, I'm Anna Eisen, and I grew up and lived here in Irvine for most of my life. And I graduated from Laguna College of Art and Design in 2024. And so these were from around that time. I have a still life, these clogs that I wore for years, and then this portrait and this lady dancing. And then this specimen was part of a 3-part specimen series that went along with the bioluminescence portrait. And at some point I kind of got a little burnt out and I wanted to try new mediums. So behind you I have my new business. It's called Charm and Chime Creations, and I use different types of vintage beads that I recycle and reuse. I use handmade chainmail that I make myself, and freshwater pearls, as well as semi-precious stones. And if you guys want to check out the Instagrams, right behind here, I have both the links that you guys can scan, and it'll bring it up on your phone. And I just wanted to thank everyone for coming and enjoying all these amazing, wonderful women Jewish artists. And I'm just so glad to be here.
Thank you, Anna.
Start thanking everybody as the other ladies have. It is fantastic to be included in this event and to be considered as one of the members of these amazingly talented women. I feel very grateful to be here. So I was introduced as Julia. I'm also known as Ma, Mommy, Yai, JB, Jelly Bee. I mean, the list can go on and on because those are the names that the people I love most call me. I'm a mother, a grandmother, a sister, a daughter, a wife. I'm all these different things, and that's what informs what I do. And this is Willie, my dog. So those are the things that inform what I do, and creating is my happy place. This is where I go to get away and to enjoy. I've gone through some challenging times. I think we all have, and art has been my place. The place of creating is joyful and releasing, and you can really be your true self when you're creating. So this is what I've been doing for the last several years. As an older adult, I've really gotten into it. And I do pottery. I also do fused glass. And the process that I use is kind of iterative. I don't go in with a plan. I don't say, oh, I'm going to make a purple something. Sometimes the piece tells me what it wants to be. So kind of different iterations. And through that process, I've learned to embrace the moments and to embrace the moments as well. Because there's beauty in that imperfection, right? So that's kind of where I am with the pieces, and that's how I create, that's how things evolve. And I just wanted to stop and again thank everybody. This has been a great afternoon. I'm so appreciative of you coming out and coming to see us, because my inspiration comes from the people I love, and it comes from the people around me, but it also comes from the opportunity to explore. And if I get the chance to touch somebody and have them really enjoy a piece that I've made, then that closes the circle, and that's when the piece is done. So thank you all for coming, and I'll talk to you soon.
I'm the executive director of the Collaborative, and in my copious free time, I do this. And I basically started many years ago when I could not find what I actually wanted, so I thought, well, I'm just gonna make it. And overcame sort of my childhood trauma about art, because we all have really bad art teachers who tell you that you're doing it wrong. And I thought, I'm just gonna be organic and do it my way, and since I'm old and decrepit now, I don't care, right? So I do it in my spare time. Yeah, that's it.
Explain, what is your technique? Explain to this.
So I do bead weaving, which is literally with a needle and thread, like one bead at a time, really tiny. And I make the pieces and then you sew them together. It's insane, but it's very meditative. And then, I do polymer clay, where you create the design of the clay, you cut it up really, really, really thin, you lay it, what I'm doing is on glass, you lay it onto glass, you smooth it out as much as possible, even though it does have some cool texture. You throw it in the oven, you bake it, it suctions onto the glass, and then I finish it with just a light gloss. And when I do the bowls and such, it's food safe because the clay is actually on the outside. So those are the two things that I do. Thank you.
Sylvia's also part of the core group of people who put this together, and she's a dear friend of ours, moved here from South Carolina, found the Collaborative during COVID, and this became her home. It's a beautiful story, but I think I'll have you guys come this way so that maybe Karen can move Sylvia this way. Okay, and she can say a little bit about these four works, and then she has an incredible body of art.
Hi. Sorry I'm a little late. My running days apparently are over. But here we are. And thank you, Bonnie and Howard, for getting me here. I'm so excited about this show. It's beautiful. And the work that the women put into putting in the show. Did a beautiful, beautiful job, I gotta say. For me, I grew up doing everything under the sun except doing any art, because I never thought I was an artist. Until I was in my 60s and I retired, and I had to find something to do. So I took some lessons, and I started out in watercolor on paper, which you see, and I moved into acrylics and abstracts, and I also do a collage. I take my inspiration from what I see and from who I talk to too. There are people in my life who inspire, a lot of people in my life who inspire me to be better people, to be a better person, or who drop their love on me, and I try to take my inspiration from there. These,
So are these your watercolors?
these are my watercolors. And a couple of them were taken because I am just a volunteer for the American Red Cross, and I was on deployment, and there was floods and everything. And I was out off this lake. Well, there was a lake. There was a bridge too, but the bridge stopped and then there was a lake. So we got out and we were doing what we had to do. But it just showed me how beautiful it was. Even though there were floods around and we had to help people, but there was still, God's beauty was still there. And I was very inspired with these.
So Sylvia has a website, and which Susan has up, and she works in acrylics, she works in a number of different mediums, and really, she's a prolific artist. And we're so grateful that you were able to come today. And I just want to say, we're sorry Joan isn't here. There's a lot of wine and cheese and crackers and cookies and coffee. Please help yourself. Enjoy, talk to our artists. Tell people about the show. It's running till April 5th. The gallery is open all the time, and there's a way, if people are interested in something, they can go on a QR code and get their questions asked. So thank you all for being here. I hope we see you again, and that's your special.